You've heard the saying 1,000 times before, and you're going to hear it again for at least the next 10 or 20 years. Every drop counts. Let's save water, let's be water wise. But what does that mean to me and my garden? Does that mean that I only have to have succulents? No. If you dig them, certainly plant them all up, all over. But there are many other plants that can fit that profile of water-wise plants. Besides being water-wise, there are other gardening practices that we can also do to make sure that we are more responsible with our water, by recycling it, by saving it, by mulching, which is that layer on the soil, by grouping the right plants together. And this way, we don't have to stop gardening because there ain't any water, we just garden smarter. Of course, if you use succulents for water-wise gardening, you're on the sure winning success route. Of course, there's so many different varieties, from beautiful plump ones to tall vertical, low ground covers. Remember, combine those different shapes together because that gives you texture, which at the end of the day makes your garden pop and jump out. But we mentioned that's not the only solution to water-wise gardening. There are plants like these. A sure sign of success for a water-wise plant is when you choose something with a grey leaf, just like this beautiful lavender. Incredibly water-wise, incredibly drought-tolerant, comes from the Mediterranean, hot, dry summers, and they love it. Plant these out in an area, full sun, and they're going to thrive, absolutely thrive. In fact, most lavenders die in people's gardens because we overwater them. The little guy in front here with the yellow flowers is Salvia, also very tough, part of the sage family. And behind me, Penstemons, many different varieties, true perennial. When it starts looking scraggly, you simply prune it back and up it comes again, looking beautiful. But what a combination. That is a typical water-wise garden, which you're going to only have to water once a week. And it looks this good. So in gardening, I come across some really cool things. And this gadget has blown my world and literally turned it upside down. I use it almost every day. And what does it do? It saves me water, and it saves all of us water. So what is it called? It's called a drill pump, and you buy it literally like this. So that's what it looks like. All that you do is connect the end of the hose pipe, which is attached to a pyramid sprinkler. Do you see it way in the background there? Or whatever sprinkler you need. Then I've got a short piece here, which I'm literally going to attach to there. The short piece put into a bucket. Now this is water that I got out of a pond that I was cleaning. Could be from leftover from watering your hanging basket. It could be from the sink. It could be literally anything. But save it. Don't pour it down the drain. And then we take our drill. This is the fun part. So all you do is got a cordless drill. You attach it to this little pin here. Tighten up your chuck. Make sure this little guy is inside your container. And watch the magic, guys. Look at that! Isn't it awesome? I mean, seriously, all I need is a glass of wine, and I'm done. I'm watering my garden with recycled water. And how much effort is this? 0. Guys, we got to make the most of water because it really is so precious. We waste so much. Let's recycle it just like this, because at the end of the day, every drop does count. Alrighty guys, so we've shown you some water-wise combinations, and does that mean that you can't plant in pots? Absolutely not. It's all about the choice of plant material. We're going to show you a great combination of different plants that are incredibly water-wise. We call them 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. And if you go along to your local builders, they'll be able to show you exactly what those plants are. So just because there's no rain doesn't mean that we've got to compromise in how we treat our garden and how we do garden. Now, we all know one of these blocks. It's coconut husk, coconut peat, that comes in a block like this. Pop it into a container, add about 1 liter of water, go and have a cup of tea, and it swells up and forms this amazing coconut husk. And look at it. That's why we want it, because it's able to suck up all the moisture. And when your plants need it while you're at work or busy doing something, they can just suck it all up. To that, I'm going to add the same volume of potting soil. Now, most potting soil is bark-based. Bark-based meaning that it literally is pine bark that's been composted. And very often, you'll be watering your plants, and then the water just pours out the bottom. And that's because the bark can only absorb so much water, which is why we're pumping it and we're adding these other bits to it. Next up, a handful of organic pellets. Important to be organic because even if the roots do touch it, It is not going to burn the plant. Secret ingredient, vermiculite, okay? This is a volcanic substance, also able to literally take water. One of these little grains can absorb and swell to 10 times its own size. When the plant needs water, because you're busy, just sucks it all up. So put a bit of that in there. And then, of course, fairy dust, guys. Bit of bone meal, the right stuff. And boy, this is going to be like turbo boosting, turbocharging your pots, and it's going to give it all the right stuff that it needs to make sure that it's going to be sustainable, it's going to be water-wise, and it's going to have everything at the base that it needs. So the idea with pots, folks, and I always suggest this, rather go with a pot with a nice wide open top. First of all, I want to make sure that the hole is open. Very important. Make sure that you've got good drainage pebbles in. Then we're going to go in with just a bit of our mixture. Ooh la la, isn't it gorgeous? Okay, I'm only filling it up halfway, guys. Don't get overexcited and empty the whole thing on. Okay, firm it down. Okay, and then we're going to start with our plants. Now let's talk through these. I'm not going to use all of these, but what I want to show you is the varieties that you can use. So we've got a typical succulent over here. This guy is fabulous. Got red tips in winter, they go deeper red. It also sends out a beautiful flower spike with wonderful little white flowers. When that flower spike dies, the main plant will almost fall over and you'll see a whole lot of new babies shooting off from it. Incredibly tough, literally can go without water for months. This little guy over here, I love it. This is called Euphorbia Diamond Frost. You get many different varieties. Make sure that it just looks like this. It's got these little white flowers, and I guarantee you, I'll put my head on a block, that this flower anywhere in South Africa will have flowers on it every day of the year. All right? In the front, I've got a little sedum. This is a red carpet sedum. You're going to get many different varieties, and I love the red. The red's just going to make this all pop, and it's going to pick up on the little edge here. And then one of the stalwarts, our own indigenous little gazanias. And they come in these beautiful colors, will go on forever, great in neglected spaces, or even in a pot. I'm going to start with my gorgeous kalanchoe. Now remember, when you're taking plants out of bags, okay, we're not going to pull it by its ears. No, we're going to grab it over here, literally put your fingers around it, turn it over, grab. You see these little tag things at the bottom, and gently pull it off. There, that's the way we do it. Okay, turn it over. When you start working like this, some of the soil's just going to drop away. And that's okay. Don't stress yourselves out. Plants are tougher than we think they are, all right? So move this around, and I want to put this little guy over here. Then I'm going to go with my Euphorbia. Same thing. Right. And then, because I want to pick up the pink, I'm going to use this lovely little sedum. Now, plants like this are more difficult to grab around the neck, but don't stress out. Take your hand gently, put it over the plant, just like that, okay? You're not going to hurt it. There. Lift it up. Awesome. Look at that. Still looking good. Make a bit of space, and we're going to put it in here. And we're going to fill in the gaps. Nice. There we go. All right. Take the back end of your trowel, firm it in so that you don't break the leaves and damage the plants. And then we're going to take these lovely gazanias, and I'm going to choose a few and pop them in here, because the gazanias are going to go on for at least 6-7 months. Edging, literally growing off the edge there. Pick up with a bit of the white. Let's pop it in there. To finish this baby off, I've got some lovely little gravel just in all the little gaps. And what it does is the gravel is not only aesthetic, but the gravel also helps to keep the moisture in. And these are the finishing touches that I love. You're only going to have to water this guy once a week. That's it. A good soaking, and your little container is going to be delightfully happy. So there you have it, folks. There are various combinations that you can use. Go along, try some different ones, and have a bit of fun. Anybody can do it. It really is easy. Enjoy the Waterwise container, and most importantly, just do it.